look, it's pretty obvious this was a tale of two halves. The first half was rough. The start to the game was rough, but we hung in. We were able to get a lead late in the second. We had a rough start to the second half, and then got our bearings, got our footing. Porzingis was terrific. Luka didn't have huge numbers, but he made a lot of key plays. Dwight Powell gave us great energy off the bench. He was the recipient of the defensive belt tonight. His on-off the floor numbers were the best defensively too of anyone on the team. So he earned it, both from the eye test and from the metric test. Brunson was terrific. Hardaway gave us a lot of scoring punch and motion, and it's an important game. So happy to win it.
Callie?
Hey, Rick, what do you attribute the slow starts in both halves to?
We had low energy to start the game. I could make a lot of excuses: a long trip, a 2-day sit, and wait in Minneapolis, all that stuff. But none of it matters. I mean, you're in the NBA. Minnesota had a tough loss 2 nights ago to Oklahoma. They came out hard. They came out aggressive. They were physical and had us on our heels a little bit. So we had to get our bearings and adjust and get the momentum back. And we were able to do that over the course of 48 minutes. But really, it took a good 10 or 12 minutes once we got the slow start to kind of get back within a possession or two and be where we needed to be in a position to get the lead.
Eddie?
Rick, right now, at the moment, you're tied for first in the Southwest Division and probably going to be in first with San Antonio losing pretty big. I just wonder how unlikely or how proud you are of this team that after all that's happened and all that you guys have been through and a lot of problems that now you're at this point.
Yeah, the group's becoming a more and more close-knit group, going through difficult situations with COVID and a difficult early schedule and a ton of road games has brought the group closer together, in my opinion. It's just a very unusual year. The loss in Portland in the first game of that set was disappointing. After we had an 8-point lead early in the fourth, but they've been resilient. They've been able to bounce back all year. We're in the midst of one of the really unusual trips I've ever been on. In 19 or 20 years of head coaching and 30 some odd years of playing and coaching. It's just 6 days. We're home for a day and a half. Then we go back on the road and play 5 games. I mean, it's really unusual, really challenging. So we've got to stick together. We've got a high density of games coming up after having a couple of 2-day breaks, in the last week or so. We just got to keep fighting through it.
Dwayne?
Yes, Rick. Could you describe how Jalen was able to dominate play out there tonight? And also, Dwight had his best game of the season. How difficult has it been for him this season coming off that Achilles surgery?
Well, Dwight's getting better and better physically as time is going along. The one thing that COVID did, it gave his body a bit of a break. And once he was able to get his wind back after the COVID situation, he said that he's felt better and better. They do something called force plate testing that measures the force with which you jump and strengthen your legs. Those numbers are higher than they've ever been since his procedure, and are approaching the numbers before the procedure. So a lot of good things going on there. you know, we really miss Willie, but Dwight has obviously kept himself very much ready, and his effort tonight was key.
All right, awesome. And Corey?
Congratulations on the win, Coach.
Thank you.
I noticed Lucas had struggled a little bit, but we were able to see some of the other guys step up and get it done, and it really shows the incredible depth that the team has. How proud are you with the overall team's production tonight?
I thought we got a lot of contributions from a lot of guys. You know, Porzingis had the most spectacular game in terms of points and rebounds and such, but we had a lot of good defensive performances. You know, we had some sections of the game where the ball moved beautifully, and this is how we got to play. You know, they focused a lot of attention on Luka early. It was very physical. I thought there were some whistles that could have been blown that weren't. You know, he stayed with it, and as I mentioned before, he made a lot of key plays in the second half that helped give us a cushion, including a couple of big threes.